In this video, we are going on an epic vintage shop, and finally, we are going to break down the biggest project of my life, the garage build, and the process it took to finally get it started.
DIY friends, it is a good day. You want to know why? Because I am heading into Toronto to go to the Toronto Vintage Show. It comes once a year, and it is a glorious time of year. This is like my Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Once a year, it comes around, and you just can't wait. You get your friends together, you have a nice lunch, and you just look at beautiful vintage finds, and I'm so excited. It's my Super Bowl! I gotta go pick up my friend Emma because she is coming along with me. Emma's one of my oldest friends. She's a beautiful human being and she knows a lot about vintage shopping, vintage clothing, vintage decor, vintage dishware. So she is the person to take with me if I'm looking for a good deal. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. So let's go vintage shopping, my friends. Editor, roll the tape. Boop.
I shall call you Peter.
Do 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 do. Oh man, I gotta get gas first. Okay, I just got to Emma's. You can tell she's a mom when she calls you and says, I'm bringing you a protein bar and a buble. Which flavor do you want? I love her. Let's go vintage shopping! Vintage, 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 vintage.
Alright friends, so we made it into the vintage show, and this was a crazy 2-day event, but we only showed up on the Sunday to avoid the crazy Saturday traffic, which is a gamble if you want to find the good stuff, but I think this was worth it because it was already pretty packed in this space, and according to most of the vendors, this was a pretty tame day.
What are you looking for?
I honestly would like some more really cool costume jewelry.
Oh, I love that for you.
Yeah, like, you know, really nice statement earrings, you know, enamel, painted.
Okay.
I am obsessed, of course, with dishware, so if I find my set that has, it's a 1918 pattern that I can never find anywhere, if I found big dinner plates of it, I'd have to buy it.
Okay,
sorry,
you should
Jeff.
show me a visual so I can help you find it. Okay.
What are you here for?
The weird and unusual.
Okay, I love it.
We're gonna find something.
I love it.
Let's do it! Let's go shopping!
But I gotta say, there really was something for everyone at this show. There were tons of dishware in every color and style. Goblets apparently are making a comeback. A lot of taper candle holders in every shape, style, and color. And oil lamps. So many oil lamps.
To say about this.
Okay.
So you're telling me when you go out, you're like, let me get my wallet, and you're like, I just need to get into my impractical straw bag here.
I love
Like,
it. Okay, I'm flagging this one as a potential.
great bag, great price.
I like it.
Emma was on the hunt for a good wicker bag with her love of vintage French fashion and dishware, and I was just looking for anything weird or unusual. You know I love a good conversation piece for the home, but mostly I kind of had zero expectations. I just wanted to see where or what my heart gravitated towards.
It's so eerie and weird. I love it.
Yeah. Don't pass Danie the baby.
Yeah.
about going to shows like this is just how curated each station is. All the vendors are bringing out their best vintage finds, so it really feels like you're kind of going to the Olympics of vintage home goods. I will say though, the only challenge with this is just how premium those prices become due to this, but that didn't stop me from looking for a good deal. And with Emma by my side, the queen of online price checks, we most definitely made sure we paid a fair price. A lot of great spots for weird oddities for my apothecary cabinet. Like, why do I want to buy a rack of teeth? I don't know. That's weird, right? I gotta say, I was so impressed by the creativity and the use of secondhand clothing nowadays. People were taking old blankets, quilts, or patterns and just adding them as decals to jackets or making patchwork clothing. This is just so innovative and such a great way to give old clothes a second shelf life. Kudos to all these vendors who are doing this. I think this is just awesome. What do you think of the show today? I know you. You were in Shadow and Bone, weren't you? Feels like Emma and I have done maybe 50% of this building and I'm exhausted already. It's so much. And also being around all this trendy clothes just makes me feel like I need to step my game up. Like, I need to step my game up.
I think you look great.
No, I know, but like, there's some good trendy stuff out there that I am not utilizing on this body. I think I could do a monocle and pull it off.
I think you could. I think you absolutely could. That is the pocket. What do you put in that pocket, Danie?
A tool or a phone, a paintbrush.
Ran into local friends of the channel who recognized my crazy face in the sea of people. It was so nice to meet you, Kelly, if you're watching. And by the last row of vendors, I was feeling the drain. This kind of Olympic vintage shopping extravaganzas can really take it out of you, but we left happy campers.
See? Oh, those are cute on you. I love it. Oh, nothing there. There is nothing there.
That's what they say about my head. Nothing there.
Okay, friends, I am back. It is the next day. That whole show was awesome. It was so much fun to just kind of like shop around and look at vintage things all day. And it's funny, like, I feel like the word vintage is kind of losing its appeal. I mean, what is vintage anymore? I don't know. But with that said, it was really fun going through all the little vendors and seeing the collections that they have created and curated over a series of time. Truly a magical experience. I didn't end up buying anything decor-wise because, I don't know, nothing was really like calling to me or saying like, you gotta have that. And I feel like I will know when I find that thing, you know, that one thing that really says like, oh my God, you gotta have it. But I'm truly curious, based on what you saw through my shopping experience, what would you have bought? Is there anything that caught your eye or gave you that kind of like a giddy reaction? Let me know in the comment section below. I did end up buying one thing though. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do this, but the price was right. It just seemed like everybody there had thrown an extra one in front of all of the prices, but this one vendor, what was it called? It's called This Old Thing. I love that name. I will put them in the description box. They were selling this jumper for $85, and I gotta say, I don't know, something about it I just fell in love with, and I love the color. I love that I could DIY in this. And I think it's amazing. I'm gonna put it on for you, but I love that there's a zipper on it. And then right here, there was a patch on this that said Ricky. So I think at one time this did belong to a Ricky in maybe the automotive world. Not really sure, but I loved it, and it's just super cozy. It's such a great material. It's got lots of pockets, which I'm kind of obsessed with. So I'm going to put this on, and I'll show you guys what it looks like, but I'll also show you why I think I need to get it tailored just to make it work for me. Ooh, we can do one of those like really cool transitions where suddenly I'm standing here, and then I go like this. Ta-da! Then I'm in it! Well, look at that. Isn't this fun? Oh my gosh, I love this. It's so comfortable. The color is great. I love the fit. Let me see if I can step back far enough you can see. I had to roll the legs up, but I kind of like that look. Look, we got a little pencil pocket here, which I love. We got pockets here. I got pockets on the side. It's actually got open pockets here, so if you're wearing something underneath, you can access it. It's honestly, I feel like I could probably wear it, but it is like a little bit big back here. Like it just feels like we could probably take it in a little bit here. And then that way, it just kind of wears a little bit more flattering on the body. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Okay, now that we've seen the coveralls, it's all really exciting, I know. But I want to get to the really fun topic, which is my garage. So let's go sit down because I got a lot to say and a lot to share, and I'm excited to talk about it. Must drink the coffee first. Okay, so let's talk about the garage. As I mentioned in last week's episode, Jeffrey and I have been working really hard to create our dream garage. It's going to be a 3-port garage with a studio above for me, so we can leave this room, leave the house, which I think is kind of like the biggest win when it comes to this garage, is being able to allow me to move out of the house and create some kind of distinction between home life and work life, which has kind of been a struggle since I've started this YouTube channel because my world has always been in my home. So I think creating some kind of line in the sand is going to be really helpful for me to kind of structure my brain around when I should be working and when I'm not working. Of course, the big question that everyone always asks about is, how much is this going to cost you? How are you even affording it? Because this gal, me and Jeffrey, we ain't rich. That's the truth of the matter. But what we were able to do was get a loan. So that is how we are affording this garage. We are basically, once the garage is done, myself, the person using the garage for my studio and my workshop, my wood shop on the bottom, I'm gonna be paying rent. We kind of just had to ask ourselves what made the most sense. Was it going to find a space and letting me rent it? Or do we build something that this house truly needs, allow me to move into that, and then basically rent it from there? So that is how we are affording this. We gave ourselves a budget of $100,000. So we are just biting tooth and nail to make this $100,000 go as far as we can, stretch it as far as we can. There has been moments where we have gone over budget, then found ways to come under budget. And so I'm going to be talking about all of that in this entire experience. But I figured let's talk about the beginning of how we got to this week, how we got to the ability to actually start digging dirt in the ground so that we can build this dream garage. And I'll tell you, a lot had to go down to make this happen. So if anyone is curious about the process, I'm breaking it down right now. So before we could even break ground on building this garage, the first thing we had to create was a site plan. So basically this is kind of like a bird's eye view of your entire property, the sizes, where everything's located. And it also will include the proposed build that you're looking to do. So to do this, we actually hired a CAD designer to create this. So that costed us about $200. We actually ended up going to the archives and spending $50 to buy historical survey plans for this property, because this was able to help us really figure out where and what exactly is ours. What did we buy? So essentially this site plan really just breaks down everything from a bird's eye view of what you have, how big is everything, where does everything live on your property, and what are you proposing. So then after that, we had to apply for a minor variance. So that ended up costing us $1,200 from the municipality, which allowed us to increase the peak height of the garage beyond what was allowed by the bylaws. But we just knew it was going to be necessary, especially if we wanted to put that studio upstairs, so that we could have that little extra room for headspace in the garage area. So just think, I could put a 8-foot board, hold it up straight in a vertical position, and it's not going to hit the ceiling. Because what we were hoping to have is 10-foot ceilings in the garage and 8-foot ceilings in the upstairs studio space. So to do that, we had to apply for a variance, and we needed our site plans to do that. So basically they review the plans, they send it to the town's engineering department for review, and then from there they'll send it to all of your neighbors around you, and then they get their input if they have any. The application then will go to the Municipal Committee of Adjustment, which then they hold a meeting where basically your neighbors can voice their opinion on the amendment. And from there, we find out if we can proceed or not. Basically, these are the moments where you hope you've never pissed off your neighbors, because your garage plans, any plans that you may have, are in their hands. Yeah, 1,200 buckaroos just to get a little extra headspace. It's amazing. It's amazing. What a world. So once that variance is approved, then we go get our drawings done. So basically what we did was we took a spec drawing from a hardware store who creates garages, and we basically had them customize it to suit our needs. So to make those design plans, it ended up costing us $1,500. And that's what this looks like, this big guy here. So we ended up going through a company called Timber Mart, and basically they drafted all of the plans for us to create, let me show you, our garage. Let me get to the good part. I just don't understand why it has to be so big. Oh, there we go. So there it is. There's our garage. We also had a truss manufacturer design the trusses because they're the only people we trust. The truss is what basically is built into your roof, which makes up the structure of your roof. So that ended up costing us an extra $500. I will say this though, I think it's a really great idea to wait until any of those variances that you have to apply for are complete before you go and build your design plans, just in case you have to adjust anything in your plan because some variance didn't go through. It can cost a lot of money to go and get these redone. From there, we had to verify with the local conservation authority that our property and plan is not an environmentally sensitive area of concern. That didn't cost us any money, but from there we applied for our building permit, which was $950. We also had to apply for a county road permit because we're on a county road, which was $250, but they wanted a deposit of $750, which we got back. And then we needed an electrical permit, which was an additional $400. So in total, our total cost has been $5,000 without even putting a shovel in the ground. So that is the reality of what it takes, and that's why it took us so long to get to this point between applying for variances, applying for every single permit that needed to happen. So it does take time. It's not like you just like, let's build a garage and then next week you're building it. This is the reality of what it takes. So let's go through the design plans because now we can finally talk about the fun stuff of how this is all gonna look. Here's how they came. So we got ours through a company called Timber Mart. So you'll have to excuse me, I had to hide our address here. Safety first. So basically these design plans are like a map to how to build our garage. So this includes the legend on the first page. It also breaks down the wood framing, doors and windows, miscellaneous, the air vapor barriers, the structural steel, footings and foundation, our loadings. So it just kind of gives a really great breakdown. So this week our concrete contractor, that is a mouthful, well, we've been calling it our concrete guy, but our concrete contractor is coming in to create the foundation for which the whole entire garage is going to be sitting on. So our entire garage is going to be 38 feet by 24 feet, as you can see here. So she's gonna be big but small. Like when I see it, it feels like it's gonna be so teeny tiny, but like in retrospect, it is a very large garage. So this is our whole foundation breakdown. This breaks down the inside, which we'll get to. So I kind of want to skip ahead here because I want to show you what the exterior. Yeah, so basically just on a surface level, we're going to have 3 garage doors on the main floor. I'm kind of looking for a garage door like this that has these like windows up above it, just so that some light can come through naturally. And then we're going to have a upstairs, which is going to have 2 dormers. So a dormer on the front, which you can see here, and then there's going to be a matching dormer on the back. So they kind of match each other here as from the side view. The type of garage that we're building is called a gable style, which means like basically the roof, which is actually the same as our house, the roof becomes part of the structure. So when you see like a room where, you know, the walls cut in half and go sliding down in a slanted form, that's called gable style. So our garage is going to be a gable style as well, which is going to make up my studio space above. Then here's a side view. So we're going to have basically, which is this side here, we're going to have a door that lets you enter in. And then we're going to have a mini like 6-foot door, like a little mini garage door on the side. So this is going to be, you know, the door that lets us bring out the lawnmower. I'm also going to be calling it Kenobi's door because this is the door that he will have access to from the backyard so that he can come and go in the garage as he pleases. I'm actually really excited for that because I feel like, you know, in the past, if I'm working in the she shack, I normally don't let Kenobi come out front, but just because, you know, it's like he needs to be in the backyard, but having the ability to have access to the garage space from the backyard, I think he's going to love it because he just loves being around me. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. He just likes to be around people. So this is going to be his door that we can open up and he'll have access to be able to go in and out from the backyard. There isn't going to be any windows on the main floor. I decided this because I wanted to optimize storage a lot. If I put windows on the wall, it was going to take away wall space. And honestly, with the 3 garage doors, I think we're going to be fine for light. We're going to have a door. We're going to have a 6-foot sliding door for the back. So there's going to be lots of light coming in. I'm not concerned, but it just means that I'm going to have more wall space for storage. And as we know, your girl needs storage, a lot of it. Coming back to this again, this side is where my workshop is going to be. So essentially I'm going to take over this side of the garage. This middle ground is probably just going to be kind of like a median in between. And then this side is going to be like home care, lawn care, and all of that stuff, which is where the door and the lawnmower is going to live and all that jazz. And then this is what the inside is going to look like. So this is the main floor. Here's the 3 doors from the garage. And then so essentially we're going to be putting the stairs on the back wall. This is still being played around with a little bit, but essentially there's going to be a stair on the back wall that you can walk up. There's going to be a landing and then a small little stairs here. These stairs though, I know I can hear a lot of you going, why are you doing that? You should put like an elevator lift in. All this stuff costs a lot of money. So we're just doing what makes sense for what we want. But all I'm saying is that these stairs are going to be very wide. And I'm doing that on purpose because if I do need to carry anything heavy up those stairs, I want it to be easy to do so. I don't want them to be steep. By doing this so that you have a landing here, it's actually allowing us to optimize a lot of space within the garage, and it's going to be just a much easier way to optimize space upstairs as well. So we don't have a giant open space when you're coming up. We did play with the idea about putting a fire pole in, you know, like one like the Batman pole or like firemen can like go from upstairs down really quickly. I thought that would be fun, but very impractical, truly. So then this is going to be our upstairs area. So because this is going to be a gable style, it does suck a little bit because I'm actually losing a lot of wall space. The dormers are going to be helping big time. Actually, I don't know if you guys remember my mom's studio, but hers was much the same. There's going to be 8 feet of like flat roof, and then essentially the roof is going to start tapering down. We are putting in 4-foot knee walls, which is allowing us to have a lot of head space before you actually have this like unusable space. Having seen my mom's studio space in her old house, I know that there are really great creative ways to build wall space for organization. So I'm really excited to get in there and start kind of playing with different ideas of how to optimize a gable style ceiling. Essentially upstairs, we're gonna have the 2 dormers, which is gonna be great. We're gonna have some storage in this back area. And then on the side that faces the backyard, I'm actually going to be building a wall that's going to be my new office space and a storage area. So the office area is probably gonna go in somewhere around here, and then storage is gonna go somewhere here. I'm really excited to kind of build in a little mini office space into this because, you know, again, like I was saying, I really wanna create some separation between my house and work. So creating this like little teeny tiny office up there, I think is gonna be so great. I can do my work, and then, you know, when like 5:30 rolls around, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9, you can pick up your bag and go home. So essentially that is the garage build. So let me show you where we're gonna put it. Let's go outside and I'll give you a look at where we're gonna put it and like where things are going to live based on these design plans. Okay, let's do a mini outdoor tour, shall we? Welcome to the front. Let's not judge. No outside work has been done. Just to be clear. Come on. Look at me, I'm standing in my future garage. I switched over to vlog camera just so that we could talk through some things. So our garage, our current driveway is like a very weird thing. So we have like a little section here, and then it kind of pans over into this section here. So what's gonna happen now, because of the garage build, we're actually going to be expanding our driveway. So this is the current driveway now that goes up. So essentially, once we get to this marker here, this is going to start to come over here, and then we're going to take over this section here, and then it's essentially just going to taper inward like this. So all of this grass area here is going to be driveway. Then over here, this little section here is all also going to be starting from here. This little section here is also going to be turned into driveway. So essentially we're going to have like, because this is the edge of the garage right here, we're going to have this whole little section right here that's going to be like another little parking spot. So I think that's going to be really handy, but overall, like, I think we're going to see a lot of space. We're going to regain some of the front yard space because this isn't being used anyways. So we're going to regain all of that space for parking. And then the garage is going to go to about here. Then that stupid fence is going to be knocked down. And then we're going to have like a whole open backyard area, which is going to be great. So essentially in this little area over here, we're going to be in my wood shop. So we're just going to visualize it, me building some cool stuff, some awesome tools everywhere. There's going to be a great little wall of tools here. And then in this back corner is where the stairs right here is going to go up and then over to go upstairs, which is going to be great. There's going to be an office right here, which is going to have a big window to look out to the backyard so I can see Kenobi running and playing. This is right here. This essentially is where the 6-foot mini garage door is going to go. We sadly had to pull up this guy here, revealing some fun things underneath it. We have some Dairy Queen apparently, and some old containers and some Yicky stuff. So some Danie sawdust stuff. So that's nice. But yeah, I think it's going to be so good. And then what this area is going to get turned into, I don't know yet. It might make more sense to actually bring the fence line from the edge of the house and then over. But essentially we kind of want, there's going to be a door that you can access here that, you know, so you can walk from the front of the house to the door. That'll be on the other side of the fence. So probably the fence will start on that house line there. It's going to be really bittersweet to say goodbye to the she shack though. I don't have to say goodbye to it yet because as you can see, none of the building actually affects the she shack being here. So I actually get to keep the she shack up for longer than I was expecting, but it will have to come down once the garage is built. So that is just like my reality. But it doesn't need to happen right away, which is great because we were able to avoid it. So hooray, she shack gets to stay for just a little longer. But yeah, so that's the beginning. It's so hard to visualize it as it is right now when you're just basically looking at some marks on the ground, but it's truly going to be like the best thing to ever happen to me, well, and Jeff, because he's going to regain some space in the house for him, which I think is great too. I kind of like took over the house. I mean, I had an office, I have the studio space, and obviously my DIYs are just everywhere. So I think it's going to be really nice for him to kind of have a space for himself. So that's what the office is probably going to turn into, is a very shared space, when right now it's very much my space. That's how I operate all of my content out of. So I think this is going to be such a whirlwind. So let's go back inside because I got some more to say. Okay, so that is basically the beginning stages of our epic garage build. I can't believe what this is going to turn into in a few months. It's crazy. This is going to happen super fast, so I hope you guys are ready. And of course, sending so much love to my Patreon family. You guys are the best. If you are looking for a place to share your DIY ideas, get advice, or give advice, maybe you're just looking for inspiration, definitely go check out my Patreon. Our community is just so amazing, and of course I share a whole bunch of extra content on there. We do mess maker mornings where we take 1 hour of our time and just be creative together and have fun and play games. So if all of those things sound fun to you, then check it out. It is in my description box. And of course, my friends, as always, stay positive, stay creative, and keep on DIYing. Bye-bye.